Oh, hi. This is the first in a series of commentaries about cars. Although it is based on newspaper, radio, television reports, video documentaries, and books read, it is told from a personal perspective, representing decades of interested observation, and so is not meant to be comprehensive or definitive. This book is from the much depleted automotive section of my library. I was once an avid reader and had a library of well over 500 books. But by age 65, I had lost the ability to read the printed page or to interpret pictures. So over time, I began to divest myself of and donate a substantial portion of my library. Most of the books on automobiles were about General Motors products, so I donated the vast majority of them to what was then Murray GM, just up the road here in Oak Park. This book is called Chevy SS. The printing is big enough for even me to see, but I can no longer determine what vehicle is displayed here at the bottom. Having said all this, I will now begin part one of my car stories. Vroom vroom. All this talking has made me thirsty. I need a cup of tea. This is a die-cast model of the 1957 Studebaker Golden Hawk. When Donnie and I were kids, his streets in Queens, New York, and the roads here around Barrington were populated almost entirely by automobiles made in and around Detroit, Michigan. But in that year or the year after, there appeared this quaint little duster from Germany called the Volkswagen Beetle. I seem to recall it was regarded with amusement at first, but the Bug, powered by a rear-mounted air-cooled engine, was less expensive to make and to operate than its larger American counterparts. Over time, it began to eat into the sales market of the North American companies. Then approximately a decade later, there appeared cars from the island of Japan. I recall seeing pictures of giant auto carriers floating across the Pacific, landing in Western North American ports, carrying Hondas, Toyotas, and Datsuns, later to be renamed Nissan. They appeared to be cheaply made, but they either had a plan or made a plan, and that was to steadily increase the quality and the reliability of their product. The American companies seemed not to notice. Whether for that reason or others, established companies like Packard, Hudson, and Studebaker began to disappear. Smaller companies like Nash and Rambler combined into one and then joined other companies to form American Motors Corporation. They produced the cute little Pacer, the Gremlin, the Matador, and my favorite, the AMX Javelin, which I believe was made to compete against the Camaro, Mustang, and the Challenger. But they enjoyed limited success, and after a while, they disbanded, leaving only the big three left to defend the American product: Ford, Chrysler, and General Motors. And later still, more cars were imported from Germany and other European countries, and massive numbers from the Asian peninsula of Korea, so much so that it put added strain on the big three, and they ended up discontinuing some of their own product line. From Ford, the Continental, the Mercury, the Monarch, and the Meteor; from General Motors, the Pontiac and the Oldsmobile; and from Chrysler, the Imperial, the DeSoto, and the Plymouth. Pictured here is a die-cast model of the 1957 Plymouth Fury. I do not know what the current market share is of the big three in auto sales, but it is much diminished, and the glory days of the big American cruiser are no more. Good night from Barrington.